Welcome back for another segment of Ask an Attorney with Mike Kuna of Kuna Law Firm, where each week our viewers send in questions and Mike here will answer them. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready for this question?
I am.
All right, let's get into it. Dear Mr. Kuna, my girlfriend and I were driving by a gas station and noticed a police officer in the parking lot. He pulled out and I literally followed us for 15 minutes. I got so nervous about being followed that I forgot to switch on my turn signal when I turned left. Afterwards, he stopped us and kept threatening us with the dog search if we didn't consent to a search of our vehicle. He even did an alcohol and drug test on me and found nothing. They held us for almost 2 hours for nothing. That's wrong. I know we have rights as citizens, and I want to know if I can file a lawsuit against him. Please help us. Thank you. So in this situation, they didn't find anything. What would have happened if they did find something?
Very good question, and I'm about to answer it and do a full analysis of the matter. So first, let's start from the fact that we live in the United States of America and we actually have rights and privileges in this country. Unlike other countries where tyranny is allowed, in the United States it's not. Therefore, we have the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, which protects us from unlawful searches and seizures. I'm not going to go into detail about the history of the amendment, but I will say that from 1914, we had something called an exclusionary rule in federal cases, and from 1961, it started working in state cases as well. What does the exclusionary rule do? In order for a traffic stop to happen, a police officer needs reasonable suspicion to commit the traffic stop. And in order for a search to happen, the police officer needs probable cause. Either probable cause for a search warrant or with exigent circumstances without a search warrant. What the exclusionary rule gives us as citizens is that if a search is committed without probable cause and initiated without reasonable suspicion, then the evidence that came as a result of that search can be suppressed. That's the exclusionary rule. That exclusionary rule will apply all over the United States, in every single state, and in all federal cases. The case leading to the exclusionary rule was Mapp versus Ohio. However, there is a lot of resentment towards the exclusionary rule, especially if some certain people in law enforcement, because they claim that if a person is not guilty, they would not be afraid of a search. And the only people that enjoy the exclusionary rule are criminals who can enjoy the fact that the evidence obtained by law enforcement are suppressed. Part of the reason comes that Mapp versus Ohio was a case in which the evidence that eventually got suppressed was pornography, and specifically child pornography. However, the proponents of the exclusionary rule claim, in my opinion, very justifiably, that as citizens we should have the right to not be subject to tyrannical searches and seizures. It seems that in this case, the police officer absolutely had no reasonable suspicion to stop you. And more than that, following a person for 15 minutes to create reasonable suspicion is not a reasonable suspicion. Therefore, if evidence would have been found, most likely they could have been suppressed. Furthermore, even though that evidence were not found, again, under the Fourth Amendment, cops cannot extend a traffic stop without reasonable suspicion beyond a reasonable amount of time for a canine to start searching around the car, which does not count as a search of the car. Therefore, I believe that if the circumstances in this case are correct and properly addressed, there might be a civil claim against law enforcement here under 42 USC 1983. Therefore, I recommend you to call me directly, 701-404-7768, and we can discuss this issue in length.
Thank you so much for explaining that to us, Mike.
You're
You're always
welcome.
so knowledgeable.
Thank you.
Of course. You can submit your own question for Mike to answer on the Valley News Live website under the Ask an Attorney tab.